Welcome everyone to today's Spotlight, and I am really excited to have Ali Lapping, who is the Head of People and Culture at Max Adventure, with her People and Culture Manager, Claire Brennan, joining us today. And one of the reasons I wanted to feature Ali and Claire is to tell the story of Max Adventures. It's a really exciting business, but also in terms of the HR input, to talk about culture, companies that are on growth journeys, and how that kind of scaling journey can really be embedded, I guess, in the culture throughout your organizations. So without further ado, welcome Ali and Claire. I'm delighted to have you join me today. And can we just start off even by saying, for those who maybe haven't heard of Max Adventures, can you tell us who you are and what the company does?
Absolutely delighted to be here, Katie, and thanks for inviting us. So, Max Adventure are a self-guided walking and cycling holiday company. We were set up in Glasgow 22 years ago this year, and we currently have offices in Glasgow, in Denver, and in Saarbrücken in Germany.
Okay.
So we are multinational, and we take around 40,000 customers on holiday every year, all around the world, mainly Europe, Australia, New Zealand, etc., and a variety of self-guided walking trips. And
Yeah.
some of the ones that our listeners might be more familiar with are trips like the West Highland Way, the Tour
Yeah.
de Mont Blanc, the coast to coast in England, etc., just to give people a flavour of some of the trips that we do offer.
Amazing. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Now, we first got talking when you came to me to help build your HR team. And, personally, it's been so exciting watching your company grow and flourish. But I was wondering, on that theme, can you tell me more about the scaling journey at Max Adventure and I guess the impact of that scaling environment on the people team?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting journey, Katie, and a great question because I just wanted to go back to COVID times, which I'm sure we're all glad is behind us. But for our business, it was quite significant because we had to, from a people perspective, we reduced back down to about 50 people. So it was a
Yeah.
very difficult time, as it was for a lot of businesses, because obviously nobody was traveling. And from a people perspective, we had nobody in the people team, and that's when I got involved in the business. And we literally had to sort of set people up for working from home, which we'd never done before, set up policies, procedures, ways of working that we'd never done before. And so really to kind of fast forward to now, over the last 3 or 4 years, we've built up our colleague numbers from about 50 to about 200 people where we are now. So to go from sort of one person, which was myself, to now a team of four has
Yeah.
been a super exciting journey, and I'm delighted that Claire joined us last
Yeah.
year and a sort of different point in time. But it'd be nice to I'm sure Claire can share some of her experiences with on the scaling journey.
I mean, yeah, I could see you nodding your head there, Claire, when Ali was talking about the company growth. So, I mean, is there anything you want to kind of add to what Ali's already said?
I think just in addition, Ali has navigated a really incredibly difficult part of Max's journey, and particularly for the travel industry all round, from COVID to then come out of the other end of that and then start again, to rebuild, because Max was on this incredible growth trajectory that,
Yeah.
was like scaling, 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 and then 2020 hit. So
Yeah.
the work that Ali actually did single-handedly, I think she's maybe downplaying what she had to do on her own. So I was really excited, and obviously that's one of the main reasons that I was excited about the opportunity of joining Max, joining a people team. So
Yeah.
previously I was in a role where I was standalone, and I was really excited by the opportunity to come under Ali's wing,
Yeah.
but also to join a business, that's on that really exciting, at pace, scaling journey, you know, that
Yeah.
we and the colleagues of Max are all on together. So that was something I found like super exciting.
Totally.
That attracted me to the business.
Yeah. And it's, you know, we're talking there, you know, all of this impacts the culture, doesn't it? Even the sort of scaling part of the journey. And, you know, every business has a unique culture. You know, could I ask, what part has culture played in Mac's scaling journey? You know, how do you embed your culture through the organization?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and culture is something that's really important and absolutely key to the success of Max. And I think, you know, just reflecting on the scaling journey, you know, obviously after COVID, travel came back so quickly, and that had a major impact on, as well as the processes within the business, really for the people within the business. You know, we had to scale up our people really, really quickly. And obviously the faster you scale, and the different countries as well in which you scale, you know, has a major impact on the culture, and can almost dilute the culture because you're going so fast, and
Yeah.
people are further and further away from the central core of the business. So we really had to concentrate and focus on, you know, how do we maintain the culture that's so important, that's made Max so successful, but also develop it as well, because obviously the world of work is changing, etc. And so I just got a couple of examples that I think might help give people an understanding of what we do, and something that we really focused on is our recruitment process across all three of our countries. And we really, one of the key attributes that make people successful here is being an outdoor enthusiast.
Yeah.
We exist to deliver Max moments for customers, these amazing experiences, and people who have this, you know, strong belief that that's what they want to do. It's their, you know, aligns with their purpose, are really, really successful here. They really understand what the customer wants, the customer experience, and what we're trying to deliver. So in our recruitment process, we actively, you know, ask questions to and make it very explicit that we're looking for people who share our purpose, and share our vision for the business, and really want to deliver those Max moments for the customer. And we're also really explicit about what our culture is like. This is a fantastic place to work. We have an amazing group of colleagues that help deliver for customers, but it's as Claire said, it's fast paced. It's sometimes faster than we find comfortable, because we're scaling so quickly. We're often doing things that haven't been done before. We're putting, you know, processes in place, policies in place that we haven't had previously, structures that don't exist, and that's not always comfortable for everybody.
Absolutely.
So we really are upfront about what it's like to work here. It can sometimes be, it's extremely rewarding, but it can be hard, very hard work as well. But the rewards are really, you know, fantastic. So we're really upfront with people about, this is what you're joining, but these are the benefits, you know, the personal professional growth and challenge benefits that people can get from working here. So we really try to embed, you know, the culture strongly into our recruitment process.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sorry, I was just going to say quickly, I know when I look at your website, what I really like about it is you do include your employees. There's a lot of storytelling on the website. They talk about what it's like to work at Max Adventures, which I'm sure will also be, you know, a really kind of positive reinforcement of the kind of the culture and the values that you have. What were you going to say there, Claire?
I think it was just really to add an addition to what Ali was saying, because we have done a lot of work on recruitment last year, and it's very much, we've treated it like a two-way street. You know, we want to be a really great fit for candidates coming to us, because you know, if you don't like that fast pace and, you know, things pivoting and changing, you know, really quickly, then, you know, we want to make sure that people are set up for success, you know, from day one. So they need to understand, you know, this is the pace, this is the way we work. And I think also being comfortable with, we want to hire really great people that add to our culture. You know,
Yeah.
we've got these amazing outdoor enthusiasts, but we don't want clones of, you know, the same people. We've got this amazing variety of colleagues that just enhance the culture. You know, they're not all, clones, which I think is really nice. They're an add to the culture. And I would say one of the kind of things that really struck me, again, just from joining Max, was the strength of the culture, the number of people. I shared this with Neil and Ali in my first few weeks, the number of colleagues that came by my desk to introduce themselves, to welcome me. You know, Ali had told, you know, these colleagues that I was joining a little bit about my background, so they knew about me already, you know, that kind of warm introduction for me before I'd even stepped through the door. And I felt like that was real testament to that culture that Neil and Ali have created, you know. So we're looking to kind of add to it, as well as finding these people who just have a true passion for, you know, the product that we sell.
Absolutely.
And I think culture is, you know, we've done a lot of work, just the back end of 2023, and put together our culture deck. So really explicit about the behaviours, like Claire says. We want to set people up for success. We all, you know, we all want to be successful here, and part of that is how we behave, because culture's something that, you know, something that we live every day, and through the behaviours, the way that we treat each other, treat our customers, our suppliers, our other stakeholders. And so we have identified the behaviours that help us live our values, and I think that really helps set ourselves up for success, and really help to embed that culture and help people to understand and be able to live the culture in Max.
I'm sure it absolutely does. And, you know, regarding culture, you know, how do you use culture to maintain and promote organizational changes, I should say, because, you know, there are going to be challenges. So what are the challenges that you've maybe faced in doing so?
I think one of the things, like I just said, about the way we treat each other and our suppliers, etc., one of the things that we try to do as a business is we try to balance the four-legged stool, because we can't be a success as a business if we're not delivering a great service for customers, we're not treating our suppliers in the right way, but we obviously need to deliver, you know, business success for stakeholders as well. So we very much, as part of our culture, try to balance this four-legged stool, and sometimes that can be a challenge, because just getting that balance right, and you're not going too far in favor of any aspect of it, can definitely be a bit of a challenge, and something that we always have to be aware of, mindful of.
I think something that has really helped with that, it probably comes back to our recruitment process again. So getting really great, you know, being surrounded by really great people, you know, who understand the business, who really are hungry, you know, they want to be part of this journey, because as a business grows and changes, you know, you could be the right person, but then, you know, you could be in the right seat for a year, and then that seat becomes uncomfortable, or the business needs changes, and you move into, you know, a slightly different seat. So again, that probably echoes back to the recruitment process, to ensure that, you know, people understand, you know, as a business, because businesses go through a process of almost reculturing as the business continues to scale. You know, you don't lose those core principles. You know, that culture deck that Ali has cultivated is what underpins how we behave every day. But, you know, businesses change and the needs of the business changes. So having really great people who want to, you know, move around and scale up with it, I think that's, for organizational changes, is really critical, actually, that, you know, you won't be sitting at a desk doing the same task on repeat. You know, that's just, that won't be the way it is. So being comfortable with, you know, and sometimes being uncomfortable as well, you know, if things
very much so
pivot and change.
Yes.
But you'll have those stretchy zones I'm sure Ali and I have experienced them. I certainly have already, that, you know, you're stretching to learn things,
Yeah,
but you need people with those mindsets that want to do that,
of
you
course
know,
they
to
do.
develop and grow.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think another key point as well is taking people on the journey as well with
Yeah.
organizational change and scale and change, and co-creating as well. So everything to do with our culture, we have co-created, you know, in terms
yeah,
of our values, where we looked at our values after COVID. Are they still fit for purpose? What do we, and we tweaked them, but that was co-created with all of our colleagues. And then a year later, then, you know, identifying the behaviors that help us live that culture. We co-created that
yeah.
across all three of our geographical areas, which was loads of fun, really exciting. But it was great to bring people on the journey and
Yeah.
create and get that buy-in of what does our culture look like, you know, as we scale. So yeah, co-creation is definitely beneficial
Okay.
in that space.
This kind of, it leads me on to my kind of last question to sort of summarize. And you know, I'm always keen that the audience can sort of take something away from hearing other businesses' stories and sort of learning, so to speak. So what would your takeaways be for business and HR leaders listening to this conversation who are about or perhaps are going through a similar growth trajectory?
I've actually got a few points that I think would, my first year at Max, this would be my advice for an HR leader.
Yeah,
So again, just to probably echo my point made earlier, surround yourself with the right people, you know, get them in the right seats, but that they're okay and comfortable, you know, when moving around those seats as you change and scale. Um, I think being able to be candid and transparent with communication, you know, if things are up and down and all around, you know, communication is really important, and being able to put yourself in the shoes of your colleagues.
yeah,
I think that's really important. And my final point would be getting comfortable with being in that stretch zone, you know, to
yeah,
challenge yourself and your own boundaries. And yeah, having a kind of open and growth mindset is
totally.
fundamental, you know,
Yeah.
if you're part of a scaling business in HR. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd absolutely echo that all your points, Claire, and especially it's a wonderful opportunity to be part of a scaling journey, because you have this opportunity to be creative, to think of solutions that are going to fit for the business instead of always trying to maybe change things that have existed
Yeah,
in the past. So that's a wonderfully creative opportunity. And as we've discussed before, Katie, we've been very, certainly I've been very inspired by disruptive HR and
yeah,
their whole ethos, which we adopt and use in Max. It's a lot of hard work, so you need to have lots of resilience so
lots
that
of nodding from Claire.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with Ali. No,
yeah.
no.
One of the key skills is to develop in a on a journey such as this is resilience.
Yeah.
Having a great team. You know, I am extremely lucky to have Claire as
Mm-hmm.
my people manager. I couldn't, you know, we couldn't work. I couldn't do my job without Claire. The people, having great people is absolutely critical to your success. But I'd probably a couple of things just to finish with is the amount of personal growth needed to keep up with
Yeah.
the trajectory of the business is off the scale and not to be underestimated.
Yeah.
It is, or you'll get left behind if you cannot keep up with the scaling journey and the amount of personal growth and development that you have to put in your own time to keep
Yeah.
up is not to be underestimated. And I would say just, and obviously, you know, from a people perspective, is to be a business leader, not just a people leader, to
Yeah.
be really thinking
100%.
about how can we as a function help the business and our colleagues to be successful from a business perspective and from a customer perspective, and not just doing people initiatives for people reasons. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
you know, really being a business leader is can really elevate our function,
Yeah.
and show that we can deliver value for the business.
100%, Ali, and we've had this conversation before. More often than not, you know, if I'm speaking to hiring managers, whether it be for HR or other roles, but when we talk about HR, they'll often say, Katie, I need you to find me a business partner first who happens to specialize in HR. That business mindset is absolutely key. And I guess another takeaway I would take actually from what you said, Claire, as well, is that whole point that you made about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, because it does go kind of hand in hand with a company going through that sort of growth and scale, because as you say, it's agile, isn't it? Things change all the time. And, you know, you make a really relevant point, Ali, when you're talking about that resilience and that professional and personal development. They go hand in hand. So listen, I cannot thank you both enough for sharing a little bit more about Max Adventures, the growth trajectory, the culture piece, etc. As always, in the Spotlight series, you will be tagged in it. So if people want to maybe reach out and pick your brains a bit more, I'm assuming you're open to sharing more of your experiences going through this journey.
Absolutely.
Our pleasure.
Great, great. Well, listen, thank you both again, and I look forward to seeing the responses to this Spotlight, because I'm sure it's going to be popular.
Great. Thanks for inviting us, Katie. Thanks very much.
Thank you.